Alright, what's going on people, Ringworld Map here, and today I'm going to be talking about a really important thing that can help you in your mindset as a boxer. I always tell this to everybody, and it's basically this fear of doing the same thing over and over again because they're afraid of being predictable, and I always tell them, don't worry too much about being predictable, just master the basics, master the drills, and if you're going to be predictable after a while, that's going to come in the later stages of fighting. It's not going to come in the earlier stages of fighting. That usually happens later on when you face guys who know how to figure shit out. But if you're in the amateurs, if you're early in the pros, being predictable doesn't really matter. I'm going to explain why today, okay? You shouldn't worry about predictability as much as you should worry about threat. Because if you look at guys like Naoya Inoue, for example, I always like to use him as an example here. He throws pretty much the same shit all the time, right? He throws a 1-2, basic 1-2s. He doesn't really double up on the jab too much, if you guys notice. He throws a 1-1-2-3, right? He throws a 1 out, 1-6-3 to the body. So you guys can kind of call him predictable in a sense. But why doesn't he get countered? Why is he still undefeated? Now, I'm not gonna go deep into that whole shit that, he's only fighting bums, he's only fighting guys who are not good, who's not on his level, he's only fighting scared guys. I'm not gonna dig deep into that. But the reason why it works is because of this one thing called threat. And this is a much more important thing. If your opponent feels threatened by your 1-2, if there's an element of threat in your jab cross, you can throw jab crosses 24/7, motherfucker. You can throw jab cross in 12 rounds, okay? You can throw only a jab, you can throw only a lead right, you can throw a 1-2. You can throw those three in an entire 12 rounds. If there's a threat, your opponent's gonna be scared, your opponent's gonna be hesitant, your opponent's not gonna counter you because there's a freaking threat. So you shouldn't worry about predictability as much as you should worry about threat. Focus on making your combos the best that they can, and by the time you bring that to the ring, you're gonna be all your opponents are gonna be scared and they're not gonna counter you. Yes, they know what exactly you're gonna throw, but because there's an element of threat, they're not gonna do it. They're not gonna do a goddamn thing to try and counter you because they're scared. And that's what I always teach the guys, okay? Don't worry too much about predictability as you should with threat. You should worry about making your punches really threatening. And it doesn't have to be powerful. You may say, oh, I don't have God-gifted power. Well, make up for it with something else, If you don't have God-gifted power, work on exploiting pressure points. Work on exploiting the solar plexus. Work on your liver shot. Work on, making your punches as precise as you can. Shooting for the jaw. Work on that. Work on your sharp counter punching. Because even if there's not a lot of power behind it, the threat on that particular move or on that particular skill comes from the fact that you slowly accumulate points throughout the rounds and you outbox them. Okay, so another threat that can be present is not just power, it's also the chances of you outpointing them. So definitely look more into that, look more into asking the question, what exactly is it, or what threat do I really pose to my opponent? If you don't know the answer to that shit, don't even worry about being predictable at the moment. Just worry on working on that threat. You need to bring something threatening when you fight in the ring. And that's more important than being unpredictable and than having a variety of attacks. Oh, I should have a variety of combos. I should not throw the same shit all the time. I should not do the same thing all the time. No, don't worry about that shit for now, motherfucker. Worry about the threat. What threat do you pose to your opponent? So that's the message I want to bring today. I'll see you guys next time, and peace out.